Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry, Max is here, and Tom has rejoined us today. Tom, welcome back, man. How are you? So you may...
Nice one, yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Viewers and listeners may notice some sort of... viewers may notice a little bit of a hiccup in his video feed every once in a while, and listeners may hear the soothing sound of seagulls in the background as Tom is not at home. He is in Wales. Tom, what are you doing there? And first of all, and thank you for doing this when you're away.
Yeah, no worries. No, it's nice to what's it called? Wales is my favourite place in the Wales. One of the reasons is the signal, which you'll probably see during the video. But I'm here because my dad's doing a charity bike ride. He decided to go all the way to Wales, so I'm out here. Look out here. So hopefully the Wi-Fi will keep up in the hotel, but I'm in the quiet room, so I'm hoping it stays quiet.
Well, I think everybody be patient. I mean, you're going to all this trouble, so hopefully everybody will understand. He's got constraints. So yeah, gentlemen, let us begin with the Wolves preview. I'm going to quickly rattle off some brief stats about Wolves. They won the championship last season with a 39-7 record. Their goal differential was 43. Their preseason has been kind of unpredictable, but who puts stock in preseason? You know what I mean? They had several 0-0 draws, but their most recent one was a 2-1 win over Villarreal. Their possible starters. The thinking is they're going to roll with a 3-4-3 formation. They like to roll three in the back with wingbacks. So their new acquisition, Rui Patricio, you may recognize him from the Portuguese national team at the World Cup. He's solid, and he's playing for Wolves now. Also, so guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Saiss? Is that how you're pronouncing that player? Saiss? I'm not sure. I'm cutting this part out, guys. So if you've got a recommendation, let me know. I don't know how to say it. I haven't watched them enough to know this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say Saiss. Saiss was rolling in the back with Connor Cody and Willy Boley. And then on the wings, wingbacks, Doherty and Johnny. Center mids, Ruben Neves, who is great, and a familiar name for Everton supporters. There's the seagulls. Moutinho now plays in the Premier League and not for us. And up front, Helder Costa, who we have been connected with in the past, Holta, who we have been connected with in the past, and Jimenez, who we have been connected with in the past. All right? It's interesting. There's a lot of familiar names rolled in for Wolves. Dangerman, Ruben Neves, Jimenez, Helder Costa, and Holta. Let's start with Tom. What do you expect now that I'm just not going to talk for a while? There's all the information. Tom, you go. What can we expect from Wolves this Saturday?
They're quite a strong start. They did very well. They've got a good manager. I think we were linked with their manager back when, after Ronald Koeman got sacked, Nuno Espirito Santo. He's a good manager, and they've obviously got the Jorge Mendes link, the agent. So they've brought in a lot of Portuguese players, a lot of quality, to be fair. The Portuguese goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, as well. And a lot of quality midfielders, as you mentioned, Neves, Jota, and then also there's João Moutinho, and there's quite a bit of quality there. Whether the new signings will settle in, with them, most of them being Portuguese, I'm sure that'll help. But we'll see. Remains to see. But I think they are a building team similar to us at the moment. So I'm not sure, but I think we shouldn't underestimate them because they are quite a strong team. I know they've come up from the Championship, but they were the strongest team in the Championship by quite a bit last season.
Yeah, he's mentioned there. I mean, Gerry mentioned the goal difference and the goal. I think they were the highest scoring team in the league, and they were the team that conceded the least as well, joint top at least anyway. And as Tom mentioned there, they've got a benefactor in Mendes who kind of brought in this Portuguese contingent that has worked wonders for them. They certainly play attractive football. They've got players like Jota, Helder Costa, who are quick and can cause damage. And then, as Gerry mentioned there's players like Ruben Neves, who have been banging his drum since he was at Porto, and João Moutinho, the players that can create something out of nothing. And there's certainly easier starts to the season. We've got to be on our game, and we've got to be aware that it's no easy task. I was not happy with
this first match. To start off with this at a time where we're still trying to figure things out against a team that these newly promoted sides, they usually have a team concept already in place. You know what I mean? Like, they've succeeded a year. Yes, it was at a lower level, but at least they have a style. They figured things out at that lower level. I don't like starting off with newly promoted sides. I don't, especially not against one like this. I don't want to play them first. I would rather have played them middle, kind of maybe in October, November, something like that, when we've started to figure out who we are. I would rather play another team who's still trying to figure themselves out. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're quick. That's overall, they're just a quick team. They're not incredibly like physically strong in the midfield. They're just quick, and they're skilled passers. So I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like, I just realized we could be physically, you know, if we end up rolling with Sigurdsson and Schneiderlin, we're going to be a little bit bigger than them in the midfield, but they're going to be much, much quicker. That's a concern.
Yeah. You know, I think Garner Gay is gonna. I know he was one of the best players on the pitch against Valencia, and just that style of player. I mean, I think we've all been saying it since he come to the club. He's one of these players that can turn up for big games, and of course, opening game of the season. You know, regardless of who it's against. You know, you could even argue this is a big game in itself. You play in the champions of the second division. It's a big ask, and as I was saying there, that just the style of player that Garner is, the high energy, high pressing, it might just be able to kind of stifle, as you say, you know, these players like Neves and Moutinho, the ones that can find the quick breaking the lines and finding these balls in behind. The likes of Gay, if he's on his game, he can cut them out.
Areas where they might give us trouble. Thinking about, you know, their style, or maybe there's certain personnel that we're concerned about matchups. Tom, do you have any inkling going in where you're thinking, I'm a little concerned right there? If you were looking at the formation, where do you put your finger on a trouble spot?
Well, judging by our pre-season so far, I think the concern is at the back, centre-back especially. So I think a couple of their forwards may be a little bit tall. So I'm not sure if our centre-backs will be able to cope with that. Unless perhaps we managed to pull off the signing Yerry Mina. But I think for now, I think their forward line would probably cause us problems at the moment. So we do have to strengthen that before the end. And as we said, the midfield as well. If Ghana can get in there and break up the play in the midfield, then we'll be flying. But I think we do need another box-to-box energetic midfielder like Ghana who can break up the play as well.
Any trouble spots that you see besides especially the centre backs? I think that's where...
No, of course we've mentioned, and a lot's been covered about the fact that the likes of Michael Keane and Phil Jagielka just physically just don't seem up to it. It's certainly not quick enough to play this high line that Silva's demanding of them. But I kind of alluded to it before. They can't, regardless of the pace, they can create things out of nothing. If you just watched Ruben Neves for 5 minutes last season, his ability to, you know, pick these crazy 30-yard passes that can just split the lines. It's not necessarily going through the line, going over them as well. And if our defenders aren't quick enough to cope with that, then we're gonna really have a tough time. Free kicks as well. You know, it's been said for a long, long time that, you know, we're not as good as we should be when it comes to defending set pieces. And obviously, there seems to be a real emphasis of Silva to say, you know, this is something that we need to fix, particularly in the defence, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that Mina deal done before it all kicks off.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the defence, the whole back line. Coleman is the one I'm the least worried about, I think, because I think he's nearly all the way back. You know what I mean? Like, there was still a couple of moments last season when you're kind of like, oh, he's not quite there, but I think he's almost all the way back. I'm not sure his pace is completely back, but he's one of the speediest people on the back line as far as over 25 yards. Or, you know, I just realized I'm saying yards. I'll have to cut that. Or John, you'll have to cut that out, buddy. So over a span of more than 5 meters. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's say that, John. But yeah, honestly, I'm worried about them being too fast on the wings as well. I am. Those guys are quick on the outside. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a tough draw for us right out of the gate. Predictions. What do we think is going to be the score?
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1 from Max.
I think it might be a bit messy. The two teams who are obviously they're settling their new players, and we're just a little bit all over the place at times. I think we've had a couple of 2-2 draws at the start of the season for a few seasons in the past, so I'm going to go out there and go 2-2.
Well, we're kind of not giving very interesting answers here, guys. I said 2-2 as well. So all three are predicting a draw, despite the fact that all of us know that this is a tough matchup. And I almost feel like I'm doing us a favor by picking a draw. You know what I mean? Like I almost feel like a neutral who's seen both of us play recently would say Wolves are gonna get the win. I do think there's gonna be goals. You know what I mean? Just a lot of goals. So guys, anything else about Wolves before we move on to the next segment?
Big ask, but it's got to be up for it.
Yeah, the only thing is I'd say as well, I think we've got to start Luca Digne. We've got to throw him straight in there because, as you said before, with the pace of Wolves on the wing, the Baines isn't going to be up to it. And he hasn't looked very fresh in pre-season. He looks aging. And I think you've got to put Digne straight in there if you're going to manage with the right wing of Wolves.
And Tom has just teased the next video. All right? Tom has just teased the next segment. So, yeah, starting 11, that's what's coming up. So, if you are digging the videos, please subscribe. We just crossed the 940 subscribers threshold, so we are climbing toward 1,000. We're really close. There is a distant possibility of being able to reach 1,000 by kickoff on Saturday, which is just a silly little goal of mine. So please, if you want to subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. We'd appreciate it. You can find Max's work on the Toffee Blues website. He's got some analysis on there. Please check him out. Tom is everywhere. When the season starts up, he's going to be back on the Liverpool Echo fan jury, so that'll be a thing. He'll also be on a podcast, View from the Gladys Street. That's going to be coming up. Some of the same people from the Liverpool Echo fan jury, and also he's got a new gig writing about Barca on the Barca Universal breaking news, or it is Barca Universal, right?
It is, yeah. That's the name of the Twitter account, yeah.
So he'll be doing a lot of breaking news for them as well. He follows a lot of football people, you know. So check both those guys out. And I think that's all we got for right now. We're going to move on to starting 11. So, bye.